Holy hell, what a massive amount paid right here for this video. Thank you so much, Hyper Guy. Obviously, this got pushed up to the front. Just to let y'all know, I'm in a bit of a tough spot right now, and if you would like me to do a video for you, link in bio for all video requests. Alright, so let's get into this video. My top 5 moments to nut to in Overlord anime. Pause. Let's try that again. My top 5 moments in the Overlord anime. Let's start with some quick honorable mentions before we get into the main video. Honorable mentions are Shalltear chair scene. Being punished by his Supreme One is obviously a moment of pure bliss. And of course, it's an absolutely hilarious scene that if you pay attention to what Ainz is saying and Shalltear's response, you will understand the misconceptions between the two, and honestly, it's so endearing. The Cocytus chair scene. Being blessed by a Supreme One is a moment of pure bliss. Let's pour one out for Cocytus becoming what he truly wanted to be, a chair. Henry Emmett's first use of the Goblin Horn is obviously one of my most favorite scenes in the entirety of Overlord, but it's a top 5, so it did not make the list. Not only does it show Ainz's power by having him discard something he doesn't even view as worth a second thought, even though in the New World, it's an item of supreme quality, giving you another inkling into the mind of Ainzooalgown. It is also the start of some of the best world building in all of anime. Henry Emmett's second use of the Goblin Horn. The second instance foreshadowing her success as a leader, and if you pay attention, her becoming the leader obviously makes perfect sense. Not to mention we get more interactions with her and Nefira, and that always warms my heart. Stamina potion. I'm a grown-ass man and this scene is hilarious. Nothing more. Splat. The anime didn't do this as well as it did in the novel, of course, but I still love the sheer sound effects and the horror displayed on screen. The horror on display really tells you what type of series this is going to be. Ainz is not a good guy in any of the normal sense. He really is just a villain who just wants to protect his friends and loved ones at any cost. Whether immoral or moral, he does not care. The last but not least of the honorable mentions. Albedo wants uppies. Albedo has to deal with some of the most incredible stress anyone has ever dealt with. And are you going to tell me you aren't giving her uppies? Damn, bro. Your actual first L. The Supreme One needs to give her the supreme bone she's been wanting so bad. Number 5. Satsuka Ainz-sama. A line that any Overlord fan immediately understands. Was it cringe that I just said that in Japanese very badly? Absolutely. But we're gonna go along anyway. Because as any Overlord fan knows, cringe is just a part of the experience. Literally anytime Demiurge thinks that Ainz's simple utterances are 10 billion IQ moves, this phrase is uttered. Not only is this a running gag in Overlord used to push the plot forward, it's done in a believable, funny way. Strangely, it makes perfect sense if you take Demiurge's perspective that Ainz is a nigh-omniscient god. So when he interprets these plans like he does, it makes not only perfect sense, it's also fucking hilarious. Number 4. We're going with a bit of a controversial placement here. Player versus NPC. Shalltear versus ainzooalgown. This is one of the best fights in the entire series, and it shows you 2 top-tier fighters and how intelligent Ainz actually is in a fight. His battle IQ is some of the best I've ever seen in all of anime. The parallels between player and NPC and how they feel about each other is wonderfully shown here. It has also shown us Ainz isn't the strongest in the series, and there is always someone greater. There is so much I could say about this, and what it does for the overarching world building and character growth. But if you want me to do so, I'm gonna need a dono of at least $10 or a 1.5 subs on YT as a special. As I would love to make this, but we need to move on. Number 3. Come at me if you dare! One of the first instances of Ainz doing something that is extremely morally questionable, all for the sake of Nazari. We also get a nice little mini arc for some great side characters, and that Kugane Mariyama showing us just because someone is cute with a sad backstory doesn't mean that the plot will save them, as you will see in many other series. And of course, no one is safe in Nazari, whether they're a fan favorite or not. The fact that you can find yourself hollering at the screen at the MC for his actions also has you thinking in the next scene, having you cheer for his actions is so interesting. We also get one of the coldest lines in the entire series. Number 2. Lying about friends isn't nice. This scene sends shivers down my spine every time I watch it. Ainz losing it while his suppression is going off over and over again and failing to calm his emotions is so damn cold. Not to mention that this scene gives you so many insights into his character and how important his friends are to him and so much more. One of the most interesting things that you should realize here is that he loses all reason when it comes to his friends, and the situation doesn't even seem to matter whether it's impossible or not. This leads into foreshadowing for things that happen later with Albedo. Number 1. Cocytus versus Brain und Glaus. Another masterful scene that actually can have an entire video done for it all on its own. But until then, we're going to just lightly cover some of the things that I like about this. The masterful conclusion of Brain und Glaus' character over a multi-seasonal arc is absolutely insane here. He goes from an absolute arrogant ass who thinks he's at the top of the world only to realize that he's a big fish in a small pond. And he actually has immense troubles dealing with this. And through meeting other characters from Nazarick, he slowly understands that before he may have been strong in arms, he was weak in the mind. This is masterfully shown us through the interaction he has with Sebas and Klein, who is the exact opposite. Strong in conviction and mind, but weak in body. A mere talentless warrior who is willing to give it all to protect the ones he cares about. From this, Brain und Glaus learns what it means to be a warrior. And fighting Cocytus, even knowing he could never actually defeat him, is a great and wonderful conclusion to his arc. Going from an arrogant young man to the warrior he had become. Now, I can go on for probably hours talking about Brain und Glaus' character arc and the depths that it reaches. But like I said earlier, if you would like to see that, get me to, well, this time, this one is going to be a 2K special or $20 dono. Much appreciated, much love. Thank you very much, guys. OverGoat out.